here on CNN News 18 that the NIA has been advised by its legal team not to appeal in a higher court the judgment of the Hyderabad trial court acquitting Asim Anand and 4 others. I want your first reactions as the local MP from there and somebody who's been closely involved with the developments in this case. Do you believe that this is purely born out of legal reasoning, or do you believe there is some kind of political interference here?
Well, let me remind you that on the day this judgment had come, I was fortunate enough to be on your program. And I had said that this judgment which was given by the courts, I was not at all surprised because the court had clearly given a judgment stating that there's lack of evidence. Now, why was there lack of evidence? Was because the NIA did not pursue it in an intellectually honest way. The NIA had pursued this case to ensure that Asim Anand, an RSS member, should be acquitted by the court. And thirdly, about your question, yes, this is a political decision taken by the Prime Minister Modi to save Asim Anand. Because we see a pattern over here that even when Amit Shah was discharged in the CBI case of Sohrabuddin, the CBI did not appeal. In Ajmer blast, Asim Anand was discharged, acquitted. The NIA did not appeal. Here in Mecca Masjid case, Asim Anand is acquitted. The NIA does not appeal. So the suspicions which we had earlier that the investigating agencies are being used as pawns by the BJP Modi-led government to ensure that all their fraternity, all their ideological members of RSS who are facing grievous crimes of terrorism go scot-free. So our suspicions have been proven true.
Mr. Owaisi,
the political help is given.
Mr. Owaisi, let's deal with the legal first. The major bone of contention was Asim Anand's alleged confession before a magistrate under 164 CRPC. He later went on to retract that. If you look at the judgment by Justice Reddy, who later went on to resign on the day that he pronounced this verdict, he elaborately says that the manner in which this confession was extracted, the circumstances leading up to this confession, the statement before the magistrate under 164 CRPC, are all suspicious. So on the back of that, when a confession has been retracted by the accused from whom that confession has been taken, how do you challenge that? I'm asking you purely from a legal point of view because you're a barrister.
No. See now, if you are asking a legal point of view, let me answer it to you in a legal way. There has been many instances wherein such sort of confessions which were later taken aback, the courts had accepted the earlier confession and said that yes, there is weight in it, which I feel the Honorable Court failed to consider it. And please remember that the file of his confession was misplaced. You know, the Honorable Court failed to accept the circumstantial evidence which was produced. Yes, so there are strong legal points on which the NIA should have appealed against this judgment, because end of the day, the country would like to know, the victims who lost 9 precious lives they lost, they would like to know who's responsible.
No, but Asad Bhai, the BJP's claim, the central government's claim is that whether it was Malegaon and Sadhvi Pragya Thakur or now Mecca Masjid and Asim Anand, this whole construct called saffron terror or Hindu terror was a bogey created by secular, liberal, Lutyens folks inspired by Congress and people like you. How do you respond to that? One by one, these cases are falling through in courts of law.
Well, Zaka Jacob, you live in Lutyens Delhi. I don't live in Lutyens Delhi, so please don't involve me in that honorable group. But why is Zaka Jacob forgetting and other people who are pointing such baseless allegations that in the Ajmer blast, the 2 accused, Lokender Gupta and other fellow, they are RSS members? Why is everybody forgetting that in Mumbai theatre blast, the people who have been convicted again belong to the same hate ideology of Nathuram Godse and company? And why is everyone forgetting that even the Kanpur blast, the accused are still, they belong to the same ideology? Why is everyone forgetting that the Nanded blast, You know, I can go on. There is a huge list.
I
so
am just
Asad Saab. Let me complete. Please allow me.
Finish your point.
Are all these people trying to say that Hemant Karkare was the main person who investigated and exposed all these groups? Are we trying to say that Hemant Karkare did a bad job? What kind of allegations are being made?
The point is,
exactly.
Sadhvi Pragya Thakur was this poster girl of this idea called saffron terror or Hindu terror. She's been acquitted. She, in fact, even was incarcerated. She developed some illnesses as a consequence of that. Asim Anand was the poster boy of saffron terror. He too has been acquitted. So where is this so-called saffron terror?
No, now, if the grounds on which that Sadhvi, this NIA has filed for discharge, that a particular motorbike did not belong to her. Now, if I extend that same logic, Zaka, then why is it that in 92 blast, a woman is still being incarcerated in jail? Because at that time, a Maruti van was in her name, so she was convicted. Now, why can't this same legal logic be applied to Sadhvi Pragya Thakur, that the motorcycle that was used to place a bomb blast belonged to her?
Okay, fair enough. I'll get a final word from you. Do you believe that in your lifetime or in my lifetime that we will ever get to know who was it that planted that bomb in Makkah Masjid? Who was it that was responsible for the death of 9 people? Do you believe those 9 people will ever get justice? Mr. Owaisi, can you hear me? Okay, I don't think Asaduddin Owaisi can hear me. But that's the local member of parliament from Hyderabad. He's the president of the AIMIM, and he's been helping legally as well a number of these people who were picked up by the police and then subsequently also transferred to CBI custody, who then later got discharged by different courts of law because there was no evidence to prove their role in the Mecca Masjid blast case. He is absolutely convinced that Asim Anand was behind this particular attack and that the NIA is going slow because it's being done at the behest of